All right, so today's ride is going to take us from Winters, California, over to Lake Berryessa, and then over to St. Helena. From there, we're going to head north to Clear Lake. Just north of St. Helena is a bunch of twists, so it should be pretty interesting. If you're going this route, I would definitely recommend stopping at Total Rock and at some of their famous egg rolls. They're pretty good. So if you live in the Sacramento, Napa area, I would definitely recommend this as a day ride. It would take most of the day to get it done, and I think this video is going to be two parts. Definitely over 2 hours. So there's going to be a part two to this. So with that, let's get going. All right, here I am heading west on Highway 128 in Winters. If you have time in Winters, I would definitely recommend stopping somewhere to eat or have coffee. There's a couple good places. If I'm hungry, I would just stop at Putty Creek Cafe and have food there. The food is really good. Or across the street is Steady Eddie's coffee shop. I usually have a coffee there and wake up before I head up this highway and into the twist. But definitely head over there and try one of those places out. They're right across the street from each other, so it's pretty good location, and there's a lot of parking. So here I am, like I said, I'm heading west, Highway 128, and I'll be heading out of Winters here soon. You can see the hills over there. Those hills separate the Central Valley from St. Helena. If you keep going west, you'll run to Santa Rosa, and even further west to start running into the coast where Bodega Bay and so forth is located. So if you keep going, you'll run into more mountains and more twists. curve here, that's pretty much going to be the start of the hills and the twist. One thing I didn't mention earlier was that there's a lot of bicyclists that ride this road. I believe they may start in Napa, but they end up down there in Winters. I see them a lot at the coffee shop there, probably ending their trip. But that's one thing to look out for on the side of the road is the bicyclists head either west or they usually head east here, and like I said, into Winters. see I'm following this car here. It's going to start slowing down. It's going to pull into the Stebbins Canyon parking lot. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there's a few trailheads here, and you can see it's going to be pretty crowded this day. It's a nice day, so everybody's out here hiking. They're going to pull in here, and if you look to the right, you can see all the cars down there. I've never been to this trailhead, but it seemed to be pretty popular. Then you can see the cars on the side of the road parked there because they ran out of parking down there. As we make this turn here, I believe it's gonna be a 180 turn, but you can see cars parking on here on the right on the side of the road. That's full. And then as I make this turn here, you'll see more car on our left here parked. I believe there's supposedly some other trailheads up here. So if you're looking for some trailheads and a good day to hike, then you might want to check those out. Like I said, I haven't tried those before, but maybe one day I'll head over there and do so. I'm gonna be pulling in here to the Monticello Dam. On a busy day, you'll see a lot of people here. Usually, it's when the water's full in Berryessa and it's flowing to the Morning Glory Spillway. Um, People taking pictures, and this area right here is pretty full. But today, nobody's here, so I'm guessing the water isn't that full. And it's a nice place to stop and take pictures because you'll see the water there in the west, and then if you look down here, which I'm not going to show, but you'll see the river down there, and it's a pretty deep canyon. As I make my way to the other side of the dam, I'm going to show you the Morning Glory Spillway. It's pretty much just a hole in the lake. Whenever the water gets too high, it'll flow into the hole and it'll go to the other side of the dam into the river. As you can see, as I come up here, you'll see it right there. Usually when the water's high enough, you won't see it and the water will be flowing to the other side. coming up, I'm going to be veering to the right and keeping on Highway 128. If I go left, that's Highway 121, it'll take me to Napa, but I don't want to go that route this time, so I'll veer to the right here and keep on 128. This will take me here to Total Rock here on the right soon, and if I keep going past that, it'll take me to St. Helena. If you're riding through this area, you have to stop at Turtle Rock. It's a bar, grocery store. They have supplies for people camping or boating at Berryessa, but they also have food. They're well known for the egg rolls they make, and they're really good. One day got there and I tried the chili. The chili was really good too, but I definitely highly recommend stopping here. On this day, it was pretty crowded. A lot of people were riding that day, so they stopped and they had some food or drink and then just relaxed for a little bit. All right, so I'm leaving Turtle Rock and Highway 128, heading west towards St. Helena. I didn't realize until I looked at Google Maps that there was a few wineries on this route. I've taken this route before and I didn't realize it was there until I looked at it recently. So if you're looking for a good day ride or a day drive, I would probably recommend checking it out. There's not too much traffic on this road, so I didn't see too many cars or motorcycles when I was riding today. So definitely worth maybe checking out. Later on in this route here, I'll be stopping at Lake Hennessy. On this day, the lake was closed. I'm not sure why it was closed. The gate was closed. There was nobody fishing, no boats in the water. So I'm not sure if there might have been, they were trying to restock the fish or there might have been some algae. I don't know. But definitely maybe check out the wineries on this route. We're definitely heading closer to Napa, so I know there's wineries like southwest from here, but like I said, I didn't realize there were wineries on this road here. All right, I'll be getting off Highway 128 and getting on Silverado Trail South Highway. So right now I'll be turning right and heading north on this highway here. Maybe about a few miles down, I'll be making a left on Pope Street because I need to get gas and go to St. Helena. You'll see this road isn't too bad. Like I said, I'll make a left on Pope, and then I'll go down the main drag of St. Helena. You'll see the stores, the restaurants, the cafes. It seems like a good place to stop for the day. So maybe one of these days, head out there and maybe spend half a day there just looking at the shops or checking out the food. But it's supposed to be a good barbecue place there. I was just watching a YouTube video on it. So one of these days, I'm about to ride back out here and check out the barbecue spot. So here I'll be making a left. I believe this is Pope Street, so I'll be heading west on Pope Street and head into the main road in St. Helena. This is where all the shops, cafes, restaurants are located. 2 will start off after fill up, and I'll head north out of St. Helena. After that, a little while afterwards, you'll start seeing the twists, and then I'll end up in the Clear Lake. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time.